Okay, so let's talk about transgender. What would you say if your country used your tax money to pay for transgenders or any other program in another country? Okay, so let's figure this out. My sources, I Googled this. My sources are the government of Canada. That's a pretty good source if you ask me. Yeah, so let's talk about this, James. While Canada does not typically use taxpayer dollars to fund transgender surgeries for individuals in other countries, however, Canadian government does allocate funds to support LGBTQ2IA initiatives internationally, aiming to promote human rights and improve socioeconomic outcomes for LGBTQ2IA communities in developing countries. So yeah, for instance, in July 2022, Canada announced $9 million in funding for 3 projects supporting marginalized LGBTQ2IA communities in developing countries. These projects focus on enhancing the capacity of local LGBTQ2IA organizations, creating inclusive environments, and expanding research on sexual and gender minorities. So if someone that you loved, like your child or anyone that you love, had this as who they are, I would hope that you would support them instead of being a selfish prick and only thinking of yourself and making them accommodate you and change themselves so that you feel better, because you are in control of you and you're supposed to handle your own emotions and not make other people responsible for making you feel comfortable. Right? Hold on. So I just Googled how many actual taxpayers, people paying taxes in Canada, and got the answer back up around 28.1 million individuals are actually paying taxes, because not everybody in Canada pays taxes. If you're a child, if you're elderly, if you're on disability, you're probably not going to be paying taxes. So the 28.1 million individuals that are paying taxes, let's figure this out. Let's do the math, James. Like, numbers don't lie. I love math. Let's figure this out. So they used $9 million, okay? So let's divide 28.1 million divided by 9 million equals, so we're going to round it up as 3.12 repeating. So we're going to say it's $3.13. So I literally just showed you the math, James. And the amount of money spent on individuals outside of the country per each individual Canadian taxpayer, actual people that are paying taxes. The amount of money per person that we are paying to help marginalized, persecuted people in underdeveloped countries as a developed nation, as we should be helping other countries, is $3.13 per taxpayer. $3.13 per person. That's what it costs you on a personal level. $3. That's less than a cup of coffee a day, James. So to answer your question, number one, Canada does not spend money on paying for transgender surgeries outside of Canada for anyone that is not a Canadian citizen. And domestically, the cost of gender-affirming surgeries is covered by most Canadian provinces and territories. Okay? And if they can't, then they will send them somewhere else if they need a specialized physician. But let's talk, because I like numbers. So let's talk about numbers. Because I very much doubt, James, that you actually know anyone that is trans. I doubt that you physically have ever even encountered a trans person in your entire life. Have you? I'd love for you to answer, even if it's just in the comments, James, whether or not you actually know a transgender person. Because let's do the math again. I love my computer. I can be on here all day. I fucking love this shit, man. It's awesome. Let's figure how many people in Canada are actually transgender. Let's look it up, okay? Because we can. We have the power. So, again, and our sources. Because sources matter. Wikipedia, Statistics Canada, Eagle Canada. Is that good? Does that work for you, James? Okay, according to the 2021 Canadian Census, approximately 59,460 individuals aged 15 and older identified as transgender, representing about 0.19% of that population segment. Not even of the entire population, of just that population segment. 0.19%. They don't even make it to a full percentage point. Additionally, because these numbers are so small, they have to lump in other parts. Additionally, 41,355 individuals identified as non-binary, accounting for 0.14%. Combined, this means that about 100,815 Canadians aged 15 and older, roughly about 1 in every 300 people, identified as transgender or non-binary. Notably, 62% of these individuals were under the age of 35, indicating a higher prevalence, of 0.19%. This is what you're winding up about. Less than 1% of the fucking population. Why are we still talking about these people? For real. No, seriously. Why the fuck are we spending so much time and energy talking about what less than 1% of the fucking country is doing? Can you answer me that, James? Why are you so wound up about this particular issue? Maybe you need to ask yourself. Think about the shit that you're listening to, the people you're talking to, people who are so obsessed with transgender. You know, in the LGBTQIA community, it's understood that people that are so obsessed about gays and trans and all these other types of people are desperate to fucking come out of the closet, James. Says a lot about an individual when they obsess about such a minute detail. I'm starting to wonder if maybe you have ADHD or autism, that you're so hyper-focused on this one particular group, this one little tiny section. But this is the thing, that tiny segment of the population represents all of us because they have the same rights that all of us do. So when we start taking away their rights, we take away our own rights. That's how it works. It's not, oh, well, you get rights because you're white. No, that isn't how it works. It doesn't work that way. Trust me, my parents grew up in Nazi Germany. And it doesn't matter the color of your skin. If they decide that they don't like you, they can cancel you. So anyways, let me know what you would have planned for that extra $3.13 that you are so hard done by that got taken out of your earnings. If you even pay taxes, because you have to make above a certain amount to be even paying taxes. And plus you're probably getting GST, HST. Everybody gets something here. So I'm not complaining about the $3.13. I'm fine with that.